Jojo Rabbit is directed and written by Taika Waititi, who recently did Thor Ragnarok, and he also did this indie movie called Hunt for the Wilder People, which I love. Really funny movies. He's a really talented director, and it was interesting to see the commercials for this movie called Jojo Rabbit, where we're going to be following around this young Nazi boy who's just a fanatic for Hitler. Like I said, Taika Waititi has an awesome talent for directing comedy. He just has such a great pace of how he tells jokes and the sort of quippy dialogue that he's able to write for his characters, and also just portray the absurdity of many situations, as you can probably guess in this movie, Jojo Rabbit. He is just a very talented director, and this movie really shows it off. Now, when you're thinking about the Nazi Germany and during the time of World War II and the Holocaust, you would not really think that there's a lot of comedic ground here. It was a very dark time in history, and it's really one of the most fascinating times in history to myself. World War II is just an amazing time in history, just thinking about it from a historical standpoint. The time in the 20th century where the Soviet Union rose, as well as Nazi Germany, and all these totalitarian governments rose up. It's really terrifying. But seeing all this through the eyes of a small child, Jojo, is also a very fascinating way to look at it, because this is a kid that doesn't really know anything else. He is a kid that's forming his ideas about the world and being brought up in Nazi Germany. He's being taught all these ridiculous things about the Jewish people, and because of how ridiculous is it in a serious way that we think of, it's also a very ridiculous way in a comedic sense, because you're like, how could anyone ever think like such evil thoughts? Like, there's some humor behind it. And that's what Taika takes, and that's where he interjects his talent into this movie. That's the most fascinating part of this movie, is that you're able to see it all through this kid's eyes, and everything is very bright colors, ways that I don't think that I've really seen World War II and Nazi Germany portrayed before. Color choices usually in movies with Nazi Germany are very dark gray colors in contrast with the bright red swastika flags. It's very interesting to see it in this movie as very bright, and all the Gestapo people and all the members of the Nazi army, they're all kind of lighthearted, joking about things, which is very funny. And there are a lot of funny moments in this movie through all these people, like saying ridiculous lines like, "All right, kids, let's go burn some books." And then they all start screaming like in happiness, and how absurd these things that happened were, but also how serious they can end up. There are a few moments in this movie where it does get serious. Not a whole lot of times. This is still a pretty upbeat, happy movie. And I think for the tone that Taika was going for, that those moments fit it very well. This movie does have a main message behind it, and it's kind of obvious to know what it's going to be moving into a movie about Nazi Germany. But he also does a really good job at showing the nuance in having to live in a society where you have to conform to this ideology, this belief system. There's no freedom of speech. There's no way that you can branch off or think something else than the people above you in the government. As much as we would like to simplify people and either put them in the good or evil category, the truth is that we're all capable of extreme good and extreme evil. We can do things that can help people in extreme ways to put them back on their feet and to deny ourselves to help someone else. And we're also capable of such evil where we get so wrapped up in our own selfish ideology that we don't care about how it affects other people, and it gets to the point where it destroys people's lives. Jojo Rabbit was a really great time at the movie theater, and if you get the chance, you should go check it out. I love Jojo Rabbit, and I think Jojo Rabbit is solid. Solid. If you guys get the chance to go see Jojo Rabbit, I know that it's kind of in limited release right now, but if you can find a theater near you that's showing it, I definitely recommend that you go see this movie. Thank you guys for stopping by and watching my video. If you could, please press the subscribe button. Check out all the rest of my videos, and you'll get notified if you press the notification button of all my new content coming out. Follow me on Instagram at Jared Gilser. You'll be able to see when I'm going to be releasing new content, and I'll see you next time.